One of the ways that church leaders can encourage unity is not just to pray for it the way that Jesus did, but to model it. And one of the ways that we can model it is by being okay when people disagree with us over disputable matters, like showing that it's fine. We don't have to agree on all these different things. Romans 14, Paul talks about that, like accept one another when it comes to disputable matters. And as leaders, we have lots of opportunities to put that into practice.
I think the burden is on us to initiate conversation, developing relationships with, well, let's just say people they might not otherwise find themselves unified with. Meaningful, transparent conversation in the context of trust as leaders, and then watch it spill over like the oil flowed from Aaron's beard down to the garment. It starts with the head.
One is we want to emphasize in preaching, teaching, and communication, whether that's a weekly email or social, the things we have most in common. And then the second thing I think we have to highlight is the way that the world is trying to create division and create discord. And I think if people have a framework for this is what we have most in common, this is my primary identity, and these are the ways the enemy are working in this day to create drama, it really strengthens the people to see one another as kind of a one team, we're in this together mindset, as opposed to little pockets of people in a congregation.
We have to start by being honest about why there's disunity in the first place. I would submit that I think most of the disunity is the result of people feeling misunderstood and unloved. When you feel loved and when you feel understood, there's automatically going to be a sense of unity because there's the presence of care. And I think about the way that Jesus conducted himself, right? So when he was confronted with people who maybe disagreed with him, and of course he knows all things, so he knows they disagree with him, he actually led with curiosity. He asked the question in order to have them articulate what they thought and how they felt. And then he shared truth, but he shared it from a place of compassion. And so I think that the solution to disunity is honestly just being like Jesus, seeking to understand before we seek to be understood.
People are sorting themselves out of their churches over ideological differences where they used to unite together around theological issues and the gospel. So what is a pastor to do? And I want to encourage you first to stay faithful to your calling. God has called you to lead well, to shepherd well, and to call people into relationship with one another. I think there are two key things that I would say will help us to bring a greater sense of unity. Not calling for unity. Calling for unity nowadays just seems like something people say. But I think if we elevate our ecclesiology, in other words, we help people to see just how important these bonded relationships of community are in the life of the church, and then we engage the mission, helping people to join together and showing and sharing the love of Jesus. I think that's what will help bring churches together in the context where we find ourselves. So let's elevate our ecclesiology. Let's engage the mission. Let's do it together in unity.